show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Back again from another wondrous travel adventure. But first of all, in Studio C in the Big D of Dormont, PA, he is a big gadget guru, a Big Bank International Esquire. He's John Chichilla, the Chilla.
How's it going? Not the Chinchilla.
Not the Chinchilla. No, that's the artist that I've been listening to that Katie got me into.
There's an artist named Chinchilla?
Chinchilla? And the one that lets me know about all the trends in music and social media, the Dutters, Katie Dudas is with us as well.
That's the real MVP's TikTok. We know that.
Well, yeah, is that it? So, and also, right out, back from a trip, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about that in our awesome thing apparently this week. So, and we have a special guest with us this week. Aurelio is with us, who's going to be showing us a very cool product that's going to be coming out called the Rockdreamer. How you doing? Coming from Canada tonight, I believe, right?
Yeah, just outside Toronto. Hey there, Michael. Everyone. John, Katie, good to be here with you guys.
Well, glad you could join us. And if you're on video, you can see the gadget in question on his guitar. We're going to have a little bit of a demo of that later in the show. I can't wait. It's a very, very cool thing. We had a little chat about a few weeks ago, and I'm excited to see how that's coming along, how it works, and how maybe I'll finally learn how to play a guitar. But anyways, this is the AwesomeCast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. You can email us at awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com. See all the links for everything at awesomecast.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast, and of course we have a great Facebook group where we are sharing a lot of things throughout the week, a lot of stories that end up in our rundown and our selections for the show. We do also have a Discord listed over on the website, and we have a Reddit if you want to start a conversation over there as well. And the podcast is available on all your favorite podcast places, and we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the AwesomeCast Facebook page, on the YouTube, as well as on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page, however you'd like to consume the show. And of course, thank you to our friends over at postindustrial.com. They're also sharing the awesomeness. And to our Patreon supporters, I think our executive producer, Brian Crawford, is going to be joining us next week on the show to hang out, as well as at the Coffee Club level, our friends Matt Weller and Cynthia Klosky. And at the fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, Professor Buzzkill, and, excuse me, there's a new one, I think, this week, Dave Podner, spouse of Ruth's Jewelry Affair at ruthsjewelryaffair.com. I keep saying on the Mayhem Show that you can have us say whatever you want in the rundown for the Patreon. And Dave's taking it up and getting some brownie points with the wife. So there you go. So thank you so much, everybody that does support the show. You can support the show too at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And Katie, you got a little muddy this week.
No, we did. I should have brought my boots upstairs.
Oh, the boots are still in the bag. I'm afraid to open it.
The boots are on the porch at my house, in case you're wondering where my boots are currently located. This weekend we were out in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, of all places, for SAE's Baja competition. And there's teams of collegiate engineers building these amazing Baja vehicles, and big tires, go in the mud, play, splish. It was an extra muddy weekend, which made things a lot of fun for us. Definitely harder on everyone else in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
But
and the poor organizers.
Oh yeah, poor organizers. They were amazing. Oshkosh, their whole crew was absolutely amazing. But we had a great time, and I, my favorite thing is to play in the mud. If you give me a reason to go play in the mud, I'm going to be there. And we got quite muddy, and I took my camera out. We talked about it last week. I took my buddy, now Otis. The camera's name is now Otis. That's been a thing that's been changed. It looks like Otis has little arms again. Hello. But took Otis out, my new Nikon, and I will talk about that probably in a future show, how my new camera went. But enjoyed getting muddy this weekend. Yeah, because that's a whole exciting thing to talk about. I want to talk about today.
We had a good time there in Wisconsin. I didn't really get explored too much Wisconsinness, but I did get a nice new hat. So
it's very fancy.
Yes, I got my cheese hat. It doesn't even fit in a frame. It's so big.
No, you're not.
It on my head with the headphones. Yeah, how am I supposed to headphones with this thing? There we go. Now it kind of fits on my head. So there you go. Yeah, and for me, like I brought back a feature. I came back around to a feature for my awesome thing that really helped out a little bit, because I've been trying to use, still got the 13 Pro Max situation, and there's a lot on here that my big $4,000 camera, certain things it's going to do better on here, like slow-mo, trying some cinematic. And I started a thing where I have a mount and a hot shoe adapter to plug into the top of my camera so that I can have a nice space to it. I don't have to be swapping tripods or anything like that. But the biggest thing was, because it was up there and because there was a little bit of wind, and the shoe, I need something a little lower profile, because it was really kind of wavering a little bit and jumbling my shots when I go to hit record. But then I remembered on the Apple Watch, there's a camera control that you could use. So I had the camera up there, had it set up for the shot, instead of pressing it and having a few moments of it still shaking from the contact. I just started using my watch and starting the records from there, so I can have a nice clean start to videos like that. And again, it was mostly kind of slow-mos and things like that we're doing, and trying to do it. So, and the other big thing is to keep your head up during these races, to make sure nothing's going to sneak up on you, because you are out on a hot track when you're doing these things. A lot of the newbies get spotters. We're kind of watching each other's back. As we said, my cheese is falling off. Hold on a second. My cheese kept creeping as I was talking. But anyways, so I mean, it's such a simple thing, and something that I've wanted to take advantage of for a while. And these are exactly like most of the things that I'm working on through video, at least like hands-on out in the field, are precisely for those like 6 days a year when I'm out on a dynamic track for Baja. Like, because that is the one of the most difficult, dirtiest, craziest, and so close to, like, speeding by cars, seconded by formula, and you want to be able to do things efficiently, good quality, and safely. And that's one of the big things. That's why we have the Apple Watch. That's why we're doing that. And that's why I was trying to get the viewfinder to work. That never really worked out with my camera. So we can keep that heads up kind of situation. And you had something too, like your camera that came with a new feature. I know we're not going into your camera, but you discovered something halfway through the weekend your camera did that you didn't realize right away.
I don't think I have a battery in here. But my screen, as you can kind of see, my LCD screen does pop out. Nice like this, and we found this to be a great advantage of, again, keeping heads up, being safe, or trying to shoot up above or down below. I didn't. It was much easier not being stuck to the viewfinder all weekend long. And like we talked about being, and we push. I think it's so interesting that we push our equipment and all of our skills to the limits on these Baja events, because it's such a unique situation in the dealing with the elements, dealing with these big vehicles that could, they're student built vehicles. And, so you got to pay attention to what's going on. And, we're constantly, it's so funny because like we constantly have this running like Amazon cart on our phones of like, oh, what'll make it better for this time, this and this. And I think we've come up with some really creative solutions along the way.
Yeah. There's usually like a buy from Amazon after the last day of everything from the weekend. We're like, oh, we could use this. Oh no, we could use this. Oh, they have these things now, and even just like, I should just have a ton of microfiber cloths everywhere. Why don't I do that? And I grabbed like a giant pack of them, so between that and our, like, we got like new backpacks to help with everything. Like it's really kind of a big, we're really kind of getting into the gear geekery, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like we're over prepared for everything else we're going to deal with throughout the rest of the year, right? So, but no, I was watching you taking some of those shots, and I realized those are something you'd be like down on a knee or something to get like the level that you're looking for, which that proximity that we were at was not. Hey, we're out in a hot, like, again, we're on a hot track. We're kind of taking a certain percentage of safety, chance with this kind of thing. But it was great to kind of see those things applied. And again, this is something that we think about. I also love that they moved a third event. Like we're going to do Oregon here at the beginning of this next month. And then the third event is now in fall. So like we went to Arizona last September, I think it was, and they're actually going to do something in Ohio. Which I'm very excited, because I'm hoping some people from Pittsburgh will come down and see see the events for the Dynamic Days and see what the heck we've been doing and talking about, So it's free. It's just come on out, kind of situation. And I think Nashport is like under 2 hours away maybe from Pittsburgh. So but no, that's really cool. And little things from actually having a real application for and remembering the watch. And the other big tip is, if you go out for a big shoot or event or something like that, rearrange your watch face, because I didn't think about that until I'm in the middle of the event. Like have I had other buttons that I feel like of things I've been trying to use more on my watch, but I made sure to put that camera app over on a quick press that I can't do upside down here, a quick press here, and now it and you're good to go. So, and I'm not so much worried about, I didn't really get the preview, I don't think, as much when I was doing the slow-mo video kind of thing. Of course, you do get it here. Of course, it's just a close-up of my soundboard. But no, that was pretty good.
So 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Dutters, does the back panel, like on your camera, does it also pivot out, or is it just like the kind of pulls out and tilts?
It's more of a pull out. So
okay, so it can't fully drop down, so you could face yourself, or it won't pull. Okay,
it's not a selfie screen.
Yeah,
that was one thing. I was like, I was excited about that, but I hadn't thought about that, because I realized that afterwards that would have made videos a lot easier in other places. And I was like, dang, but yeah, just out.
I do want to give a special shout out to Katie, because we're often asked to do things on these things that maybe we're not 100% comfortable with. Not that it would say, and I want to give credit to Katie for conquering her fear. Here she is with the ladder that she conquered. Taking the panoramic photo that we found out about at the last minute, apparently. That's a pretty and you said they were trying to set it up even higher, right? And you're like, no, this isn't happening.
Yeah, I don't do heights, especially not on ladders. Like, it's funny, like, you put me outside hiking ledges, no problem. Ladder, me and ladder's not friends.
Meanwhile, I'm somewhere conducting an interview, and I hear over the radio something. Hey, do we have a ladder for the photographer? And I'm like, that can't be for my photographer. There's got to be one for Oshkosh or something that they have for this, right? And then, like, you're texting me and send me pictures of a ladder. I was like, no, that's not for you, right? So, like, yeah, sorry, add that to that. But yeah, no, but you conquered it. Look, I mean, and this is and that you're pointing at the step you got up to.
The 4th step. I usually do 3, so I got up to 4. I was very brave.
There you go. There you go. And for a last minute thing on a brand new camera, the panorama turned out fantastic. So, congratulations on
my friend a new little forehead kiss. I was like, mwah.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorg, real quick, on your watch, like, do you have multiple watch faces, or you just have the one and you edit it?
I have the one and I edit it. I have the one that is the hold on, it's the one that
complication.
I don't know. It's got a bunch of.
Well, because you can, like, I have a couple
weather across the center. I got my fitness rings. Like, I got the three apps across. I got little arcade games here that I load up. and then I had one up here, which was the web browser that I think I talked about a little bit ago. But I don't know if I talked about it. I've been trying it out because there's a web browser so you can pull up like pretty much full web pages, quote unquote, on your watch. So I've been kind of poking with that a little bit. And I'm gonna not load bowling right now. So what do you think? So you're talking about like how you have multiple faces and you kind of swipe across?
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of done where like I have like my, hey, I'm going out, or hey, I'm at work, or you know what I mean? Like, and each face kind of has its own kind of purpose.
I mean, I've had a couple of them on for a bit, but it was just always seemed like I always accidentally swipe into the one I don't want right now. So I just kind of disabled that thing for myself. Just that's how it works for me.
One face to roll them all.
One face to roll them all. I mean, it's like, I have the weather in 4 applications on here. My text messages and fitness and whatever other things I want to kind of float depending on the task I'm on, and just pop it into the watch app on your phone and swapping them out real quick. So for okay, this is this kind of day, I need to do this, but and it's not every day. This is a very, very special location or a special occasion with the job, that we're concentrated on. So that's all. Aurelio, you have a Kickstarter that you're interested in.
Actually, it'll be IndieGoGo, but
IndieGoGo.
Same idea.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is I call it Rockdreamer GuitarBar. Rockdreamer.
Oh no, I was talking about your awesome thing.
Sorry?
I was talking about your awesome thing. Sorry.
Sorry, we won't get into the product yet.
Yes, we'll get into that after the break. So, but
sorry about that. Okay, so my awesome thing of the week I found on Backerland.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Nut Smasher. All right, I get it's a Kickstarter that's on now, and I thought it was pretty cool because I've had this issue before too. You try to crack open walnuts or pecans or whatever. Yeah, the first one, that's the thing that I got. So that'll usually put a crack right along the hemisphere of the thing, but it doesn't do such a great job of like totally destroying the shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I found myself like with a knife or something like that, trying to crack it open or whatever. And that is a little bit dangerous. I got to be very careful. But look at this thing. You put this plastic contraption over it, you stretch it, boop, and that's it. And it like totally obliterates the shell, right? I haven't bought one yet, but I just may, because I think this is. I don't eat those kind of nuts a lot. I eat a lot of like peanuts, but they're already unshelled and whatnot. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool device. Just came in my inbox this week, and I thought, hey, might as well share this one.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say, what does it do to the nut on the inside?
That's
nut. Oh, it looks like it kept it pretty intact. Like the shell was shattered. You're right, but the nut looks like it's still pretty full.
Yeah, that's what I saw from that video too. It's not like it pulverizes the nut itself. It does a really good job on the shell, but the nut is pretty much whole. Maybe it'll, crack it a little bit, but I think overall it keeps it pretty intact.
This is great.
We should get one of these and see what it does to different things. What does it do to an egg?
Oh my God, no, don't even think about that.
Can we smash it?
When I first saw it, I thought, how is that little plastic thing going to be strong enough to crack, like a walnut or whatever? But then when I read on the site, it's actually reinforced with metal, right? So it looks on the outside, it's this soft plastic rubbery thing, but there's metal underneath, and that's what gives it the strength.
That's amazing.
Get these. Or try to smash different things.
So it's already at about 200% of its about $3,300 goal, with 42 days to go. So I'm pretty good with that. But they are looking to stretch goal to unlock all the colors that they could come in. You can apparently sign up for this. 20% off is the lowest one. Hold on, why is it not pulling that up on the side? And it won't let me. Sorry, the page is loading weird, unfortunately. But about 16 pounds to get a unit. shipped to you at the close of this. So yeah, it's I love the little squirrel face that's a part of the thing you pull to the slam down. I mean, it really seems like you're kind of slingshotting something at the nut. So Katie, are you up for smashing some nuts?
Always.
Yes. One smasher, 18 pounds, 34 pounds. I don't know what that translates. But you can check that out, and that is the Nut Smasher at Kickstarter.com. Yes. So the man might have to get it on that, because Chilla just gave me an idea for a YouTube series. I
think that would be more appropriate for TikTok.
Chilla, what's your smash hit awesome thing of the week?
So, Apple announced today, and I'm guessing it's also due to WWDC's around the corner and Google I/O is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They are bringing Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro to the iPad.
It's happening!
Which is going to bring a number of, obviously, touchscreen gesturing to your favorite Final Cut Pro, as well as support for the Apple Pencil. So you're going to be able to actually write and draw directly on top of video content, which I thought was pretty darn cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be adding Magic Keyboard and the Smart Keyboard Folio capabilities from a key community. You have to do more than one, like picture-in-picture or any kind of multicam edit. It's just it's painful.
I would say on Final Cut in general, I am regularly editing about 3-hour shows with 3 cameras plus commentary. So it helps greatly. So, and that's where like higher end tools like Final Cut, DaVinci, I believe is supposed to be pretty good at this. Premiere, of course, Adobe's Premiere. So, but if that's coming in, if that all that functionality is coming in an iPad, that becomes very, very interesting to me.
They showed a pretty cool video with doing fast cut features, doing background replacement, scene removal, masking. There's machine learning built in, so very, very impressive stuff. I'm not a huge Logic Pro person.
Me neither.
So I really can't compare and contrast, the iPad Logic Pro pieces and parts. And I haven't seen any big reviews yet. It is coming out on May 23rd. It'll be available in the App Store and this is kind of what bummed me out, though. I'll be honest with you. Like, my Final Cut Pro, I think I bought, at least 5 years ago.
I bought mine when it came out probably a decade ago.
Right. So you really haven't had to reinvesting in a computer, right? You haven't had to pay again for it.
Yep.
Where I'm kind of bummed about this, right, is there is no one-time fee with the App Store. It is a subscription of $4.99 per month or $49 per year.
I mean, still cheaper than if you want Premiere in Adobe Suite. So you win there. And it's actually cheaper than CapCut at $7.99 a month. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the yearly on that? I think it's about $150 for CapCut.
I don't remember.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right.
That doesn't seem right, actually. No, 74. I think it's like $75 for CapCut. So, what would you say the year? 49. Wait, $49 a year for Final Cut?
$49 a year, and you get a 1 month free trial.
You
so
do,
even if you just want to give it a spin,
yes,
go for it. It is only available on iPads with the A12 Bionic.
That's for Logic.
Later.
The Final Cut is only compatible with M1 chip iPods, which makes sense. So, as I said when I shared this earlier, time to buy a new iPad. So, apparently.
No, what I'm interested in is does this give us any, and you know how I like to read the tea leaves, right? Does this give any insight to things upcoming at WWDC, because to me this would have been a perfect WWDC announcement.
Oh no. This is you announce it now, and then everybody's going to teach you how to use it at WWDC.
Or
That's big
is
to
it
me.
that there's other support or devices or peripherals that are going to then take advantage of this?
If I find myself in a situation where I can offload all of my footage for, say, the Baja event this weekend, and hey, we need a quick video, like, oh, okay, let me plug my SSD into the, I think everything's USB-C on the iPads now, right? I plug that in, it sees it as a device, opens up the Final Cut project, and I can edit something real quick and spit it out to somebody. That's crazy. that's you know, that it could bring in something like that, or I can have that, and I have a multicam wrestling show, and hey, can I get a clip and such, and I'm like, hold on, let me pull out a bag while I'm sitting at our meeting at Eaton Park that we do, you know, like that's the, you know, and not bring my laptop, not that my laptop is much bigger than my iPad at this point, but still, like that's pretty incredible. And even the shooting it and then having the power of Final Cut, like on that camera, that's crazy. That's amazing, you know. Unfortunately, that means somebody's going to be in, like, we're going to go back to that thing where I saw somebody in the front row at a wrestling show with an iPad in front of their face. But other than that, but
even the ability to airdrop and everything else, as long as you have the space to work with it, I mean, I think you're good. The other interesting thing, and I mean, there's a lot of people that sell different types of docks for the iPad where you get, you know, HDMI out. I'll be interested to see. I didn't see anything in the images, unless I missed it. Like, what's it going to do to support an external monitor for work, or what you can do with other peripherals.
On top of already plugins and extensions are another situation that I'm really curious. Really curious about. But I am also wondering how many of these things come over to the main software, like Scene Removal Mask, because that one that's built into the new Mac OS, man, I started using that and it's pretty great for the most part. So definitely looking out for that. So when does this release again?
May 20. What did I say? May 23rd. I think it's
May 23rd. Okay.
3rd. I'm also interested to see, do they bring, or is there some tie-in to their potential of VR goggles for using this, which I think will be super interesting, but I guess only time will tell.
Maybe. Oh my God, the iPad Pro has an M2 in it. I forgot about that. All right. Well, you know, we got something very cool here to check out with our friend. But in the meantime, first, let's give a shout out to our good friends at Slice on Broadway here in the Pittsburgh area, if you happen to be. I know a lot of Pittsburghers do listen to the show. New York City style yins are made. Beachview, Carnegie, East End, North Hills, and of course, a newer location in the South Side works. Please go check out our good friends up at supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza for well over a decade. Check them out, sliceonbroadway.com. Aurelio, we're ready to rock out with you right now.
That's awesome.
So for those, and again, you know, for those that haven't seen that, maybe they're on the audio version of this show. What do you have on your guitar there?
Yeah, it's that's a good question. That's what people usually say when they see this. They go, "What the heck do you got on your guitar?" So my company is called Rockdreamer, and so I've called this device the Rockdreamer GuitarBar. So it kind of looks the shape of an iPhone, except it's got buttons on it, and it's bigger than an iPhone. Well, longer at least, not wider. Yeah, that's the website there. Actually, it's not a full website. It's just a landing page. But so I've been developing this guitar assist device, for over 10 years now. And I finally reached a point where this is a prototype and it actually works. And then it's like, well, now I've got to try to sell this thing, right? So I decided to do a crowdfund, and going to be launching this August on IndieGoGo. Yeah, basically it allows you to play the guitar. Now, just a little background. I'm a songwriter and I've been in bands, but I don't play guitar. I'm not a guitarist. Don't know how to play the guitar. I play keyboards and I also play the accordion. And I can tell you the story of how I came up with this thing. Years ago, I was kind of down on my luck, not feeling very good just after a divorce, and lost my job. And so I was in this rundown house basically, and I was thinking what wasn't working. I thought, well, maybe I can teach some kids how to do something in music, maybe write some songs or something like that. And I thought, okay, well, what instruments would I take with me when I go and do this? And I saw my keyboard. I thought, yeah, I'd definitely bring that. And I had my accordion. I thought, yeah, I'd bring that. And somebody had left an old guitar in the place. And I looked over, I saw the guitar, and I said, man, I'd love to bring that guitar. It would be really cool, but I don't know how to play the guitar. And then I glanced at my accordion, and on the bass buttons on the accordion, when you push a bass button on the accordion, it actually plays a chord. And I thought, wow, wouldn't it be great if there was some device that you could use on the guitar where you push a button and it would make a chord on the guitar. And then all you would have to do is strum and you'd be able to play the guitar. And that was like the light bulb moment, the aha moment. I thought, wow, that would be so cool. Why don't I try to do such a thing? Problem was, I've never developed a product before. I had no clue how to go about it. So I had to just, I started scribbling down ideas of how it would work. And long story short, it went through many different design companies. The first design company spent tens of thousands of dollars and they failed. Second design company, same thing, failed. And I got really discouraged. I thought, okay, this is just not going to happen. But the thing that kept me going was my partner in India. He gave me money to start this venture to go and try to develop this thing when I had no money. And I was willing to lose the money I had invested, but it would break my heart to lose his money as well. So I said, no, I've got to figure this out. And so I swore that I wouldn't go to another company or product design company unless I first came up with some crude prototype to actually prove, the device and the concept. And so it took me months, and I was working with like popsicle sticks and little springs and super glue, and it was really a weird little device that I came up with, but it actually worked, sort of, when I didn't push too hard and when it didn't break, right? but it actually did work. And so I took this thing that I had, and I looked at companies across the country, both Canada and the U.S., and I was living in Ottawa, the capital of Canada at the time, and I happened to find a company there. They've changed their name, but at the time they were called Gibson Product Design. So here's the synchronicities that happened. First of all, the name Gibson, right? Classic guitar name, right? And of course, they had no relationship to the company Gibson that makes guitars, but the founder happened to be called Gibson. And then the second synchronicity is that 3 of the 4 designers were guitarists. They all played guitar. And the third synchronicity was not only did they play guitar, they had guitars in their studio, right? So they would jam and just to relax in between their work. So when I found that company, I knew, okay, the stars had aligned. This is the company for me. I showed them my very crude prototype. They said, oh my God, well, okay, this is cool. And they actually took it from that very crude prototype to this, what I got now, which is a near production prototype. I've only got 2 of them, one for my acoustic guitar and one for my electric guitar. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. And we're just, we're looking forward to the crowdfund effort this August. And yeah, just trying to promote it. We've been doing Facebook ads and trying to send people to that landing page to collect email addresses and that sort of thing, so that when we do launch, we'll have a mailing list of people to advertise to and say, hey, it's time, we're launching, please get on, the IndieGoGo page and back us. That's kind of the deal.
So the claim you're on the website, you're talking about like it's easy, is it because it's easy to wrap your head around? Is it easy to kind of work the fingers? Tell me like what is that bar that it's kind of lifting for the newbies to guitar playing?
Absolutely. Well, there's two main problems with learning a guitar. The first one is trying to put your fingers in the right places at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like finger gymnastics, right? That's the first problem, is trying to learn exactly where your fingers go. It might be simple. You see a little tablature and say, okay, to do a G chord, just put your finger here, here, and here. And then you try to do it. And it's like, oh, that sounds horrible when you strum it, because you're off by a millimeter or so, and that's enough to make a horrible sound. So that's the first big bar, to actually learn the finger gymnastics and the right pressure and the exact position to make a proper sounding chord. That takes a long time to do. And the second big problem is the pain, because when you're holding down vibrating metal or even nylon strings, they hurt. They hurt a lot. And the song Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams, when he said, played it till my fingers bled. Well, that's actually the truth. Your fingers will get to that point where they're cut and quite sore and painful. So those are the two big hurdles that all, starting guitarists come across, right? It's very difficult. So with the Rockdreamer GuitarBar, these are padded buttons. So you can press down on it and it doesn't hurt your fingers. So that's one big obstacle. And the second one is these are all labeled. So on this device, to make a chord, you've got to push down one or two buttons, depending on the chord. So, for example, to make a G chord, I only have to push one button, this button here. That'll hold down the right strings at the right fret position on the guitar to make a G chord. Now, if I wanted to make a D chord, then I would hold these two buttons down. So I would push these down, and that would push down the right strings to make a D chord. So either one button or two buttons you have to push down depending on the chord you want to play. And a lot of people, you still have to practice a little bit. It's not, let's say, as easy as maybe Guitar Hero, where you push a button and everything's done for you, right? We've already had that, product, and it's a great product. I mean, it was very, very successful. But this product brings you a little, different experience. It's actually on the real guitar. You are feeling the pressure. It doesn't hurt like putting your fingers on the actual strings directly, but you feel the pressure. You've got to push the buttons down fairly firmly, fairly hard to make a good connection, that the strings are held down properly and you're going to make a good chord. But it's closer to the experience of playing guitar, right? And you still have to strum. Mm-hmm. And so there's some learning to strumming properly, but the bar has been greatly diminished, right? Within 30 minutes, you could be up and playing some basic tunes, at least certain chords that sound half decent, right? And so that's the big thing that this product allows you to do.
I feel like I think a lot of people out there have like maybe high school bands, so they have some understanding of music, right? Like this feels like this is a big boom for like I played the trombone. It was mostly like a by ear kind of playthrough for me, right? But this feels like kind of like something I could grab my head around.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. And I'm the first user, right? Because like I said, I do have some, a musical background. I've been in bands. I've played accordion. I can read basic sheet music, but I never learned how to play the guitar. I was afraid of guitars. Basically, I love the guitar. I love the sound of it. I love guitar music, and I've always wanted to be able to play, but I haven't been able to play. When I did try many years ago, it just hurt my fingers too much. It was too difficult for me. And I got spoiled with, I got delicate fingers, I guess, because on the accordion and on the synthesizers, you've got plastic, and when you push those buttons down, it's pretty easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've always wanted to play. And so now with this thing, it's amazing. I mean, I can experience being able to play my favorite songs, like Hotel California. Now I'm an 80s guy, so the songs that my favorites are, they're they're a few years old, but they're classic. They're classic rock songs. Hotel California, Free Falling, the Elvis tunes, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Taking Care of Business. Like, these are the songs that I can play now, with this device, and I can just have that enjoyment. There's that thrill of, holy crap, I never thought I'd be able to play this, and it sounds reasonably well. And so it's that experience that this allows you to have.
Excellent. So I understand you have a little bit of a demo set up for us to show us how it works.
Yeah. So I'll switch over to let's see, my audio settings.
Yes, this is what here's a hot tip for anybody out there using Zoom. If you want to switch from voice to music, turn your auto thing, your Zoom thing to like low, because it just takes all of the background music out if we're not properly mic'd or anything like that. So we're making an adjustment right now and make sure that's coming over.
Can you hear that chord?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to play a little bit the intro. Well, you tell me if you can recognize this song. Did you recognize that one?
Hotel California.
You got it. You got it. So
you can check out, but you never leave.
What's that?
You can check out, but you can never leave.
Exactly. You can check out, but you can never leave. So, like, that was amazing to me. Like, again, I'm not a guitar player. I'm not great at it, but with this device, I can actually noodle around with it. I can play something that sounds reasonable, and just get that enjoyment, of, wow, I'm actually playing guitar. I'm actually playing my favorite tunes. So that's the thing that you can do with this. And let me see.
I love the idea that it's like, this is the thing for the guitar enthusiast, not for the hardcore guitar player, right? Like this like I just want to I love your illustrations on here on the website. I think you illustrate this very well, where you get to the bottom here and it says, entertain friends and family, create romantic moments. I love that stuff. Like it does feel like the next step of what you just illustrated this point. This is the next step of what we wanted out of Guitar Hero, right? Is to feel like the rock star, feel like we kind of know what we're doing with this kind of thing, right?
Exactly. It just makes it a little bit more real, right? Now, when I advertise on Facebook, I get a lot of hate from the guitarists. Right?
Oh, yeah.
They'll say, oh, this is cheating and this and that. And, I kind of, I try to sympathize with everybody's point of view. And I get what they're, saying. They're saying they try, it's taken them years and they put in a lot of effort, and they're selling my product just in, when they talk about it. Exactly. It's taken you years. It's taken you a lot of effort. You went through a lot of pain. You built up your calluses. So you basically just sold my product. For this, no one is going to take this and say, I'm a guitarist, right? Or I know how to play guitar per se. I don't say I can play guitar. All I can say is I know I'm able to play guitar with this device, right? It's an experience. And you know, we still would look up to people who play guitar, who know how to play guitar without this device.
Mm-hmm.
But why would someone try to deny other people just, you know, there's no religion of guitar. The guitar is an instrument. You can use it however you want to. And this device just kind of opens the door to, you know, millions more people of being able to experience guitar. In fact, I remember years ago when I was doing, you know, working on this thing, and I was talking to some high schoolers, and there was a class of about 30 people, 30 kids, and I said, hey, how many people here know how to play guitar? And maybe one or sometimes two people would raise their hands. And then I would say, okay, well, how many people would like to be able to play the guitar? And everybody else's hands go up, right? Because it's such a popular instrument. A lot of people want to be able to play. So why would you deny them that ability, right? They don't have maybe the passion that some guitarists have to go through the learning curve, right? But still, I mean, there's so many other examples in life where, you know, you just want to get a taste of it, right? You want a simulation. And it simulates it, but it's also real because the sounds are coming from your guitar, right? And you are strumming. So there is still technique involved. It just lowers the bar.
And could you imagine all those people that did have to spend all that much time if they had the head start with this thing, you know, to get through that first pain process that turned so many away. And so much of that time could have been on the latter part of their perfecting it, right?
Exactly. Because, you know, what I've heard from other music teachers is there's this 2-month hump, right? That usually at the 2-month mark, when people are trying to learn guitar, they just give up, right? They haven't achieved the ability to play one of their favorite songs, right? So it's all pain, effort, and there's no payback, right? It takes too long to get payback. Something like this, they can get payback right away, like within minutes even. You can play, you know, some basic songs, and then it's like, wow, there's that feeling of that thrill, right? That dopamine hit. It's like, wow, this sounds really good. And then, you know, if you want to take it farther, and you know, you could use this to you know, make it easier on your left hand for making chords, and just focus on the strumming if you want, right? And you learn that technique, and you know how to strum. And then if you want, you could remove this and try practicing on your own if you wanted to learn more. But at least you have the flavor, you have that payoff of hearing yourself play your favorite tunes, right? But I know a lot of people probably, you know, will just be satisfied with using this, right? They're not going to be professional musicians with this, but just like all the people who bought Guitar Hero, why did they buy Guitar Hero? Because they wanted to feel that, you know, it's a fantasy, you know, it's something that a lot of people dream of, being a rock star or, you know, being on the stage. So it just indulges people to allow them to, you know, get that experience.
Absolutely. And just out of curiosity, if you're like kind of into the idea, you know, you're going to have this device, and like you can pick up a guitar for around $50 on Amazon. From a quick look. Yeah. So like, it's not like, honestly, I think I spent more on the Guitar Hero set, so in the long run. So, but no, that's very, very cool. All right. So you're coming out here in a couple months in August on IndieGoGo, you said?
IndieGoGo. Yeah. And right now, if you want to sign up and get on the list so that you can be informed of all the, you know, latest announcements and stuff, it's rockdreamer.com.
There you go. There you
rockdreamer.com.
Very cool device. Do you have a I know like, there's no way for you to pin this down, but do you have an estimate for manufacturing beyond the IndieGoGo?
Yeah, well, we found a factory, and they made this one here. What we're hoping, it's optimistic. We're hoping it'll be produced and delivered to the backers before the end of this year.
So I can do some Jingle Bell Rock around Christmas, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, around the Christmas tree, the Rockdreamer GuitarBar. That's what we're hoping, right? We'll have to confirm that with the factory once we have that successful crowdfund. But I'm going to prime them for it and say, look, get ready. Let's try to get this out before the end of the year for Christmas.
There's going to be all these emails that says, we need some Jingle Bell Rock over here, and to get it out the door. Oh, this is great. It's a very cool. I'm very excited with this. I might have to get my hands on one of these things and play around with it a bit. So definitely very cool. So go sign up for that, rockdreamer.com. Keep an eye out for the IndieGoGo. When we see it, we'll give a shout out to the awesome casters out there and let you know when it's going up.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Mike.
It sounded like there's a different version for electric versus acoustic, correct? So
actually, it's not a different version. It's the exact same device, right? The only thing is that it needs to be adjusted. And that's why I don't switch back and forth. Like I got two prototypes. One has been adjusted. You could almost say it's been tuned, right? Okay. The reason is that I'll show you. On the bottom, there's these feet that can be adjusted. You can screw them up or down.
Okay. Yeah, I can see.
And you can there's different positions, so you can move the foot. Each of the four feet can be in one of three different positions, and you see these little screw positions where they could go, and that's necessary because different guitars have different geometries, let's say, and sometimes when you put it on one guitar and you try to strum, it buzzes, right? That's the dreaded buzzing sound because the string is hitting one of the feet, right, when it's vibrating. So you got to find out, okay, is it hitting this foot? Oh, all right. So I got to move it a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. So you can unscrew the foot from its current position and just move it. And you have that level of flexibility. And also, you can screw the foot in or out, meaning does the device need to be closer to the fretboard or farther away? Because some guitars, the strings are closer to the fretboard, right? And if your feet are screwed to the point where the device is too high, when you push down on the button, the prodders, they're a little bit too far away, so they push down on the string, but not all the way to the bottom, right? So in that case, you'd extend the feet. No, sorry, you would screw them in, right? So that you're closer. The whole device is closer, so that when you push the button, it's got more extension to really push down those strings down to the bottom of the fretboard, right? But it is the same device that works on both electric and acoustic. It's just that you need to tune it for a particular guitar. Yeah.
And I know there's been a lot of famous blind or visually impaired guitarists, but have you thought of making a Braille version?
A Braille? Oh my goodness, no, I have not. Like that. But you know what? That wouldn't be so hard, actually, now that I think about it, because all it would mean is that, you see, one of the innovations of this product over other guitar assist devices, because there are other ones, like the leading one is called Chord Buddy, and that was on Shark Tank, but it's got only 4 buttons, and it can only do 4 chords. My device can do 11 chords, right? But one of the other innovations on this product is, I don't know if you can see it too well, but they're labeled. The buttons are actually labeled with the chords that it can support. Mm-hmm. You'd think that's a pretty basic thing, but none of the existing guitar assist devices have their buttons labeled in this way. So your idea, John, making a Braille version would simply mean to put the little Braille dots, if you will, on the top of the button to indicate which chord. So yeah, that's actually a brilliant idea. I had not thought of that, but yeah, let's get successful with this version, and then we'll think of another one. Like the other request I get is a lefty version, right? So this is meant for right-handers, so they strum with their right hand and they'll push the buttons with the left hand. So the opposite of that, we'd have to just it'd be like a mirror image of these buttons on the device. So that's another requested one. And the other one is, does it work on bass guitar? So no, it doesn't. But again, future product idea.
That's the expanded
Very
line,
cool.
right? Expanded line. Yeah, and you mentioned the how they're labeled, and I'm looking at the pictures and how you're holding that, and like I even pulled up some quick sheet music of Hotel California, and you see the chords across the top as just that, and understanding the the half and quarter notes and everything to make it sound right. Like all that. I mean, as long as you understand those kind of two concepts, you kind of pull it together, right?
Well, I was just going to say, you have the sheet music up there, Michael, but that's kind of scary sheet music, right?
Yes.
You got all the notes and stuff like that. You don't need that much. You just need the lyrics, and you need the chord letter over the word where you change chords, right? I found the best website on the internet is ultimateguitar.com, right? I'm not affiliated with that site at all, but I love them because years ago, I'll just tell you a quick story. Years ago, there was tons of places that were publishing sheet music, right, for free on the internet. And eventually, they were basically distributing copyrighted material. And eventually, the big music companies, they shut them all down. They said, look, unless you pay us big bucks, we're going to just shut you down. And most of them did shut down. But Ultimate Guitar, I think they're based out of Russia. But what they did was they negotiated. They were the biggest, and they said, no, look, this is a new medium and this kind of thing. You can't charge us the same kind of prices that you would, traditional stuff. So they actually went to the trouble of negotiating a deal with the big music publishers. And so they're totally legit. They were allowed to keep publishing. And the way it works is that anybody can post their version of a song, right? Say, oh yeah, like Hotel California, this is the way I do it, and here are the chords that I use, and here's my arrangement. And again, all you need is just the lyrics and the chords, the letters of the chords. So it's simpler to consume. You don't have to worry about all the notes and the tablature and all that stuff. So it makes it easier for a beginner. They just need the lyrics and where do I change chords, and they're good to go.
In Sorg, I checked, they have Jingle Bell Rock.
There you go.
Multiple versions.
It keeps pulling up an app on the iPad I'm showing here. But yeah, no, it's very. I'm trying to get so you can kind of see. Yeah, it's just like the chords and the verses. Like that's pretty cool.
Exactly. That's a lot less intimidating, than the sheet music that you showed up first there, Michael.
Absolutely. So some hot tips there if you want to go check out all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm going to be brushing up on my Guitar Hero. I'm going to brush off the PlayStation 2 and be playing a little bit of that here in the coming months to prepare for this. So thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, Michael.
So just in a few months, we'll announce the AwesomeCast Jam Band. With I'll brush up on my trombone. Chilla, you'll be on guitar. Katie, what do you want to play? You gonna be a secondary guitar, or do you want to do a kazoo or something?
Oh my gosh, I throwing out band things. I played saxophone.
Oh, now we just became a sexy jam band.
Yeah, I brought the sexy for you.
There you go. I didn't know you played the saxophone. Wow. We could be a jazz band. There you go. Thank you so much. Again, go to, I don't have the website right in front of me.
Rockdreamer.com.
Rockdreamer.com. Sign up so you can find out when it goes live on IndieGoGo and support that project. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anywhere else that people can check out on social media, chat with you guys, or anything leading into this?
For Rockdreamer, you mean?
Yes.
We're on Facebook, Rockdreamer Music Products. You can find us there as well. And we're also on TikTok, Instagram. Those handles are rockdreamer.guitarbar. And I've got videos there of me playing various songs using the guitar bar.
There you go. There you go. So, and side note, I just found a bunch of guitar tuning apps. I'm going to dust off the guitar that's been in the back of the closet that I inherited and see if it still works in the meantime too. I might play with a little bit of that. But anyways, thank you so much. Chilla at Chilla on the tweets.
John Chilla on the Twitters or on the Facebooks. Sorry.
Yes. And, of course, Katie Dutters, the Kate Marie PGH on the Instagram. You can see all of her muddy pics from Wisconsin this past week.
Muddy boot pics.
Muddy boot pics. No,
but I'm not selling Instagram.
Yes, exactly. Oh yeah, you
giving them away for free.
Well, no, you got tagged. You got yelled at by Instagram because you didn't. It thought your boot picture was a sponsored post.
I thought it was branded content.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you don't essentially, come out and say this is branded content, then it's like, what? It's like, my muddy boots.
It's your muddy boots. Yeah. Exactly. I'm trying to. Oh, I just reloaded. I was going to pull it up, but it was the second boot thing that I kind of showed off there. So that was kind of weird. No big trips this week, but we will be going to Michigan Speedway the week after. So excited for that. This is the picture in question that they said was branded content, and you needed to tag.
Is it the pants? It looks like I pooped my pants. Like, it's not even like like this isn't even like a good mud pick.
Who would want you to tag? I don't know. I mean, it's because you tagged SAE on this one. I don't know. That's weird. Also, Jurassic Park car. Yes. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, awesome casters out there. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, you have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.